then they go, "Are you sure you want to stream right now?" "Yes, YouTube. I want to stream right now." "Oh, okay." And then now you're live. Craziness.
And speaking of craziness, I just got your YouTube notification on my iPhone.
Oh, really?
That's right. Right after I watched this really awesome HP ad.
Watch all the ads in their entirety.
I don't know if it helps you anymore or not, but I'm watching every single one I can.
Those pennies are mine.
Got to add them up.
All right. So it looks like we are.
Anymore or not, but I'm watching everything.
Looks like we're good to go.
I see I'm Picardo.
Streaming everywhere live. All right, sweet. It's Toon Boom time tonight. I already got a strip out early, so no comic strips this night. Now what I want to do?
You're just gonna have fun then, huh?
Yeah, just mess around in Toon Boom a little bit. I don't know if we'll go the whole hour, but we'll get something done. I did this little Running Man animation, the classic Running Man, not the new one. And
why didn't they change things like that?
What I want to do is get this guy, that like self-portrait I did as a Flintstone style character. I want to get him dancing like down in the screen, in the channel, either like up here somewhere or over there somewhere.
That makes sense.
Just just to get him chilling and dancing. So I need to get some bones. I gotta figure out what I really need to do eventually is upgrade Toon Boom to the. See, check it out. So they have this bone deformation, bone deformer. This is only the mid-grade. This is not the top end of the software, but you can do this cool stuff, right? Like you can take and stretch, not that like that, but you can stretch and squash and really do some cool stuff with their deformers. But you only get the bones, so you only get like the very sort of one-axis deformations, whereas they have a spline deformer in the full version that allows you to go like all the way around the character and do all kinds of fun stuff. That way, like this deformation right here, where I want to make sure that comes up over the leg, I wouldn't have to draw it every time. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what I would like to do is just get some bones in the legs and see how that's going to work for us. So we'll open her up and get to getting. They have such cool tools, though. Like you can come in and see exactly where that pivot is already. Ooh, that's interesting. Didn't exactly want that. And then all depending on the size of that circle, you can go ahead, you see you can already like start to get the little overhang line in there, which is cool.
Well, now he's got a knee.
Yep, but I want to go higher on the bones though. Oh, look at that. I need to get rid of that guy. I wonder how I can delete that guy. See, he's. Oh, you know what? I bet it was double transforming because I don't need to put down that other joint. That's probably what it was. That's why it was like holding on.
Mm.
There
Yeah,
we go.
because in that stretch,
Yep. That's
as
what it was
opposed to
doing.
rotating.
Yep. Bingo. Ew. Yeah, I'll need to cut off the feet and like do a proper foot, or just redraw the legs. Heaven forbid you actually redraw the animation every frame. What kind of barbaric society would that be?
I don't know, a little less barbaric than one. We're just like, oh, I'll just cut off the feet. I will teach them.
Let's turn it all on.
Dance, I say.
All the deformations, all of them. I'm definitely gonna have to do some extra drawings. I've cut the arms off too for right now, visibility wise. You jerk. Just to just so I can deal with the arms separately because their timing is a little bit different. Alright, let's do this. It's go time. Definitely not 100% happy with the sort of like not deforming the tunic or whatever you want to call it, but we'll go from there.
We'll just pretend it's super, super heavy and stiff.
Yeah, there you go.
It's made out of rock.
Right. Oops, I didn't want to do that. That's what I wanted to do. Ooh, I got a ding on my side. Let's see what that was about.
I know.
Could you
I
hear
heard
that
some
too?
dinging. Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Sugar coated. Hey, sugar coated witchling, how are you?
You just got dinged.
I know. Oh, and Twitch too. Hey, Janie. Janie rocks. Hold on 1 second, Janie. I'll answer a question over here on the other stream and then be right back.
I'm missing all that because that banner ad that's up in the way.
Oh.
Not that I'm complaining about the ad.
So hey, sugar coated, how are you? Thanks for hanging out. And definitely ask questions or whatever whenever you get the chance. We'll be glad to answer them. And now Janie rocks. Why that program? So this is Toon Boom Harmony. I got dinged again. I'm doing good, sugar coated. Thank you very much. So Janie, this and for everybody on the services, that's Janie rocks on Twitch. So this is Toon Boom Harmony. Why this program? it does a lot of things that Animate, formerly Flash, doesn't do that make sort of the production environment a little bit better for shorts, commercials, that sort of thing. Namely, one of the things too is that if you come from traditional animation, it's got an X sheet, which is really, really nice to have and use. I don't know if you can actually see that. My picture may be covering it up a little bit in the UI. Let's try to pull it out where you can see. So the first answer to your question is this X sheet. Now, normally these used to come on pads that were like giant pads of paper that had all this written down, so you could give stage direction and you could see sort of where you were working. And these are basically the same layers that you see here in the timeline, but they're in a format that's a little more readable for traditional animation, right? So you can see this is on 4s, you can see this is on 1s, and so it's just kind of, I don't know. Having started in traditional animation, it's sort of a nice thing for me. The other thing that this does that's really, really super cool is this library right here. So if you notice, and this may break some things, but whatever.
No, we're here to learn.
That's right.
Or
So
at least break stuff.
yeah. So I tell you what I'll do. I will reopen because it's so easy to set this stuff up. I'm going to discard my changes and reopen for you. So you see this drawing substitution library over here. Get rid of that. And of course it's not going to show up while I'm actually trying to show you something. Let me actually get to the drawing itself. That would be helpful. Alright, so leg R right here. So this is one thing that Flash you have to pay for extra. You can buy all these little different add-ons and things like Keyframe Caddy and stuff like that. And I think Keyframe Caddy is the one. There may be one that I'm forgetting, but it basically makes this library. So I have the legs facing different directions, and when you do a drawing in Toon Boom, just by virtue of the fact that you've done a drawing, you can add that drawing to the library for that particular piece, and then slide back and forth. So for something like facial animation, it works out great. And I can actually, since you asked, I can go ahead and show you that too.
Oh, look at all this learning.
So this is a Bigfoot character I had done previously. And if you grab his mouth, let me get this. So I get the drawing, do that. Let's see, face. Mouth. There we go. All right, so if you look over here at the library again, you can see that he's got a lot more mouths, right? So wherever I stop, that's what's going to pop in. So if I'm actually animating the mouth, for dialogue, I can set a key there, and then I can move ahead a few frames, and then set a different key there, and then move ahead and set a different key there. Move ahead. This one's a good one. Like that. So those keys are sticking as you go through. Now this is just running through like all the brow positions and stuff like that, but you can see that those keys are actually sticking for what the mouth is. So I still need to animate this guy. I gotta figure out what I want to do with him. But hopefully, Janie, that answers your question. It's just a lot of that functionality is just kind of cool. Let's see, Running Man. And we're back. And now I gotta go hide the arms again. Oh, let me flip over. Yeah, sugar-coated. It definitely has that. Yeah, like I said, that's one of the reasons that I really like it as much as I do, is that that drawing substitution stuff just works right out of the box. The other cool thing about it is that if you'll notice in the same library window, under symbols, not symbols, I'm sorry, Harmony Advanced Library, you can see right here that I already have this character in there. So, for example, I think let's just do this. If I create other characters in here and drop them in the library, like if I had that Bigfoot character over here or whatever, I can actually just take and grab and drop the character in, and you'll see that it comes in again as a separate version of that character. Now I can grab that group, and move it out of the way, but it doesn't really want me to grab the group. Let's do that and grab the master peg. Ta-da! So that library allows me to store characters, and the rig is the exact same here as it is over here, right? So I can bring in multiple characters, animate them separately. It handles all the numbering. There's no conflicts. It works out great, which is another super cool feature that Animate / Flash is kind of getting to, but not quite there yet. Oh, you know what? I could go on too, because yet another cool thing they have is, and Flash did get this. I will say that they do have this now, is palettes. So so the palette that came in with the character has all of the colors that he needs to look like him. So, like, if I wanted to do a nighttime version of this, I can literally palette shift this whole thing. I can make like a new palette up here and edit it to make it look like a nighttime palette versus a daylight in the desert kind of palette. And it'll keep these same colors, but it'll edit them kind of like a layer in Photoshop, which is really, really cool. So, yet another fun feature. Let me hit the expand. Oop, that's not the wrong. That's the one I wanted. All right. So what do we want to do? I'm starting to think that maybe I should just be redrawing the legs, honestly. That's what I'm thinking. I think we could do bones for knees, and then for the feet, we probably want to redraw the feet. So let's start cutting off the arms, chopping off the arms.
Poor guy.
Yeah, right? The other cool thing too is you see that I'm kind of rolling up the various options here. Visibility works down that hierarchy, which is actually another thing that Flash and Animate sort of doesn't have, is that idea of a hierarchy. If you notice, Toon Boom has these little blue lines right here, and that's representing a peg, right? And then when you see the three colored shapes together, that's a drawing object. And it works very much like traditional animation in the sense that when you take a piece of paper, that's your drawing object, and then when you lay it down, you have those pegs that register the piece of paper. Well, if you were going to ever move anything in a multiplane camera like they did at Disney, then you can attach that paper to the peg and then move the peg, so you're actually animating the peg. And that's the principle that this works on. Excuse me. So if I grab my actual move tool, my animation tool, I can grab the body or this leg, and you can see that what I'm doing is manipulating the peg for this. We scroll down to you see it automatically selects the peg because I have that option checked here. What that allows me to do is then come in here and animate via that peg. So I'm not manipulating the drawing, I'm manipulating its parent. So you can literally rig a character, right? So when this opens up, you see all of these bones. These are all in a certain order, so that like if I move the shoulder, then the elbow and arm go with it, and then if I move the lower arm, that'll go too, and same with the hand, the wrist, the fingers, everything works together. I mean, ultimately, you're still basing it on, traditional animation, which, as you can see, the drawing and line quality of the traditional animation is pretty cool. Like it looks decent enough for drawing. It's pretty neat. All right, so first things first. Let's get that going.
Your mention of the Disney multi-plane camera gave me flashbacks to Jonah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sugar coated. It is. It's a lot like that. And in fact, you can do symbols in here as well, right? Where you can nest things into symbols. They have the same sort of, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, you can create an empty symbol in the library. So they definitely have that functionality. But instead of sort of nested symbols and then having to animate inside that nested symbol like you do in Flash and Animate, you actually just set up a hierarchy right on the timeline and animate that way. So makes it a little bit easier, but yeah. Check over here. Oh, you know what? I was going to play some music too.
Oh yeah.
Let me see if I can find that right quick.
After all that trouble I went through to dig up that crazy space music.
Hold on a minute, guys. Here we go. Video game music.
Oh, there you go.
Take that, copywriters. All right, let's do stuff. Yeah, sugar coated. I like it a lot. All right, back to it. Now, what do I want to do with these legs? I feel like I should probably chop up the feet appropriately. Which means what I need to do is get out of animation mode and go back to creation mode here.
So they don't have a death member and destruction mode.
No.
Okay.
There we go. So leg R. So what we'll do is we will duplicate leg R. And then get it out of the hierarchy. And we'll duplicate leg L. Get it out of the hierarchy. Alright, so then leg R. That. Okay. So now what I want to do is come in here with the cutter. We'll leave this part as the leg. So I want to come in here. Do that. Oh, it only did the line. Bummer. I believe it's, yeah, there we go. So then what I want to do now is I'm cutting for the foot, right? So it's going to stay behind largely. Uh-oh. Got all the drawings. Oh, I smoothed too much. That's going to be a little bit easier to work with. Okay, so then here's where that peg comes in, because what I'm going to do, the one thing about Toon Boom is that it's pretty unforgiving to the order of things. And by that I mean that if I started parenting this up and rigging it before it was ready, it would not be very happy. So I'm going to grab my pivot here, which I'm expecting to be somewhere. Where is it actually? Oh, interesting. The cutter broke everything apart. Huh. And I still get no peg. We definitely want that. Let's go ahead and get a peg on it. Let me lift up for the keyboard a minute. Okay. So I'm going to grab the foot and then create a peg. So we can set up a cutter for that later. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay. So now let's drop that in. So what I want to do is grab the leg here, or foot, I'm sorry, and drop it underneath the leg. You can see that it actually is above the leg in Z space. You see where it kind of overwrote that, right? So what I want to do is grab it with the transform and hold down Alt, and then when I scale it, it's actually moving it in Z depth, so you can see it pop in front and behind the leg, and we want it behind the leg.
It's a neat trick.
Yeah, because this is literally just laying planes down in 3D, is what it's really doing. So if you've ever done 3D animation, you can kind of see, like if you look at this foot peg that we were moving, you can see that it has this value in Z. So XYZ or XYZ if you're not in the US.
Z.
It's true.
It is true.
It's true. All right, so let's get the leg off here. All right, so this is our dupe of leg L, so we can put those back on. Ooh, and then it's off. What? Huh, interesting. Let's get rid of that guy and try that again. There must be some transforms on the peg. Oh, look at that. Dun dun dun. This is the other nice thing about... Oh, hey Frank, hold on. We're getting some comments here. Yeah, that's right. Alt plus the arrows. If I had my keyboard in a better spot, I would probably do that, but I keep having to lift up on the Cintiq and then come back down, so I'm using one of these Genovation keypads with the major keys going on it, but yeah, there's still a lot of stuff I haven't got mapped over, and that's one of them. You jump over. How's it? It's going pretty well. I'm just sort of undecided. What I really want to do is use the next tier up harmony. I'm kind of in the middle right now. I need the premium because I really want to do the sort of spline deformation on these legs, but right now I'm kind of tossing up between, you know, actually drawing them or cutting appropriately or doing bones. So I'm just kind of playing with my options and seeing what I want to do. I'd really love to. I got to figure out how to get a hold of the premium version so I can actually, you know, do some of the stuff, because a lot of the smear frames and things that I would love to do, especially like with the legs lifting up on that sort of, you know, tunic sort of Flintstone-esque shirt. Oh, I know. Yeah, the node view is something that it makes a lot more sense. I spent a lot of time, you know, in film-based software, and so like the node-based compositing and the way we sort of rig things up in Maya, and makes a lot of sense. So I'm looking forward to the day that can happen. But until then, I sort of figure it out with what I got. But yeah, you are a master with this software. I've seen it myself. So by all means, jump in. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing special. But it kind of gives me an idea of what I want to do with the volumes and a little bit of the timing. So it helps me anyway. All right, so let's see. I still want to duplicate this, but it looks like it's baking in, or it's not getting these transforms. And if I zero this out, it's probably going to cause issues. I have to move you to the side and get the keyboard back involved here. I probably made some rookie mistakes here. I was probably posing with the peg instead of with the drawing before I put it under the peg. Alright, so now when we dupe that, I betcha it stays right on top. Alright, so let's go here and then get our cutter back. Yeah, oh, Frank, you're not interrupting at all, man. Yeah, advanced, it's very cool. I mean, it's a great tool, by all means, but they keep those like one or two little things from you from premium, right? Like the node view and especially that deformer, that spline deformer, and the way that you can rig up the cutters like for eyes and things like that. So yeah, it's one of those things where they really have those key features, and they kind of hold them behind that price wall, which I can't blame them. You know, I mean, the software is used by a lot of studios, TVs. I mean, I know Archer uses it. I know Brickleberry and the Awesomes, and there's a lot of shows that use it. So they definitely have a right to do that. I just wish that us independents could catch a break.
So what you're saying is I need to watch more ads.
Yes, yeah, watch more ads, please. Excuse me. Your ad watching's choking me up.
There you go.
Thank you for the ads, everyone. Alright, let's see here. There it is. Alright, let's see. This is probably so backwards. The most backwards way to do this. It's gonna be the worst deformations ever, but I can at least pull those out. Pull those curves out. Alright, so let's get here. Yeah, this is going to be terrible because it's going to break that line. and I'm just going to be fighting it the entire time. Unless I do like the circle thing and do the perfect circle for each side and Bottom line is, I don't like my options on these legs. No, sir. I don't like it. Alright. Let's do it. Let's do it, Frank. Let's give it the old... Nice. Zelda soundtrack.
How long you been using this software, Kevin?
How long?
Yeah.
This particular, the Harmony Advanced, probably only a year. Toon Boom Studio and their other offerings for quite a while. But and I used Harmony 10 for a little bit, but 14 they had a pretty major overhaul with 14, and so yeah, still sort of getting into it for the most part. I think what the average is like, 5 to 10 years for pro. So we're not quite there yet. Not quite there yet.
I mean, and it's just one of many tools you use too. So it's not like you spent all that time using just this software.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. This will basically give me a good way to block in things, though. Ooh, ding.
Have you ever started a project in Toon Boom and wish you used a different piece of software?
No. Everything I've done in Toon Boom has been totally worth it. These legs are going to be so important to everything. As well as that deformation right there. That's going to be a mess too. This is the hard part about figuring all this stuff out. Is there's a million ways to do it, and you just kind of have to figure out which way is the best. And just sort of jump in and go. Luckily, though, I think I can use... The plus here is that I can use a few of the same drawings for that, so that's what we should do. Alright, so let's jump on this leg here and drop in. Before I commit to the other side. Oh, gotta do a kinematic output. Dun dun dun. So you can see that I added those two bones, and now all of a sudden I'm manipulating bones that are beneath the. You can also see it change my pivot for the peg, but now when I want to move this guy, I'm actually going to be moving a bone. But you can see that doesn't move the foot, so you have to do what's called a kinematic output, which should bring the foot along with the bone. I could straight up parent it, but meh. That's an official term.
Meh.
Meh. So you can see I did one under this bone right here, and then put the arms underneath it. So what we'll do is we'll come down to bone 3, right click, insert kinematic output, and then we can grab the foot peg and drop it underneath the kinematic output, and probably just broke it. Whoops. I might have grabbed the wrong bone.
Oh, you got some beard blessing going on in your channel too, Kevin.
Oh, I do. Freelancing in Flash and jump out a window. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. How is this not... How is this not doing what I want it to do? I've done it 100 times. It's always when you're live. That's when it always happens.
You need some of that Bill Riley juju.
Ah, there it went. Ha 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 ha. Got it. Alright, so now when we do that, foot goes with it. Ta-da! And then we can still grab that and manipulate it like we did before. Which is not going to be great, but like I said, I'm going to block in with this, and then we'll go back and draw over, do what we have to do to make it fly. And then I'll come in and actually draw over the and of course I wasn't in animation mode, because why would I want to do that? This is the most ghetto way to get those keys in there without just hitting the high keys. Turn my guide back on. Oh, the other Kevin. Hey man, how's it going? Haven't talked to you in a long time. Check everything else. Hopefully Sugar Coated still hanging in on Watch Me Work. Yeah, Frank, every time I do a freelance job, I've done a few freelance things on YouTube with Flash, and it's still CS6. The main artist running everything, she's still using CS6, which I can't blame her. And yeah, man, getting in, dealing with the symbols and having to nest it, I eventually just had to go ahead and buy the plugins and jump into like Keyframe Caddy and stuff like that, because the facial animation was driving me crazy. Nice, dude. So, Kevin, are you still in this area? Are you still hanging around near Raleigh? Oh, cool, Sugar Coated. Thanks for hanging in there. I'm just going to go ahead and rig this other leg. Why not? I'm going to have to do it anyway. So we got the foot. Oh, nice. Oh, museum exhibits. That's cool. Alright, let's get in here. Oh, whoops.
You were doing so well, and then you chopped off his foot.
I know. Sliced it right off. Let's do that. It's all back. We're all good. Yeah, you know, that's awesome, dude. We should get lunch someday or something, Kevin. Whenever you got some free time. Yeah, Frank, if you're still hanging around, the one thing that I do miss, like, you know, with this animation, I've got this foot planted, and this is like such a you know, such a minuscule thing, because, you know, coming from traditional, it's like you just draw the thing, you know? It's like shift and trace, right? But it would be nice to have, like, IK, you know, to be able to pin the foot and just say, yeah, don't move this joint, and then bend it down from there. And I don't think there's a way to do that. You probably know more than me, though, by all means. But IK would be super cool. Let's see. How did we do that before? I think we did. I forgot that quick. Is that what we ended up doing? That's what we ended up doing. Yeah, Kev, thanks for popping in and saying hey, man. And I totally understand about the kids to bed. I made mine go too. Yeah, the IK. Oh, really? Well, I mean, I assume, yeah, well. Stealing, keeping the foot planted. Yeah, I would love to know more about keeping the foot planted. That's something that I've never really dealt with. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Oh, that makes sense. Totally makes sense. Start at the foot and go up, and instead of the way I'm doing it. Huh. Seems like you'd need like a. In this case, it would probably be a good idea to do the reverse chain, but it seems like you would use that in very specific cases, and then basically drop in the FK character and swap on a frame, and then drop back in the IK character and swap on a frame. That was kind of always my theory for how to do it. Oh, it's got some Metal Gear Snake Eater time now.
Snake?
Yeah, that's what it is. I don't think it's in advanced. Man. Oh, that's why. Let me Mr. Toll, did you ever play this game?
Oh, you know what? It got difficult when they wanted me to sneak too much. I love the theory of the game,
Yeah.
you know, but I just don't have that level of patience to go, hey, maybe I should do this without shooting people. But then the flip side is the game is definitely designed where if you were really good, you could shoot your way out of some situations.
Right, right.
But I'm not really good, so I sort of end up in this situation where I sort of half sneak, half shoot, and die.
Let's see. I know that there's a way in here. I know there was in 10. There it is. Stop motion keyframes. Haha. Just anywhere in the deformation. It is getting real in here right now. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow. JavaScript everywhere.
Well, then you can just write your own stuff, Kevin.
That's true. Bring it. Stretch keyframes. Oh, that's cool. Create. At least it's in alphabetical order. Create element, create peg. Yep, my guess is that's in premium. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. One of these days, boom, boom,
Wait,
boom.
you need a premium jar for every time you hit a feature that you need.
Yeah,
Just
well,
add all your pocket change into the jar.
yeah, that's true. That's true. My question is, how would? Because you'd want to swap. Yeah, I think. Yeah, you definitely want to swap because, like for this leg, I definitely want FK, but this one would be IK, and then I definitely want to swap on a frame, which that would be super cool. Because otherwise I'm going to end up trying to ghost it and doing it the hard way, which, not ideal in the least. Clean these guys up a lot. All experimenting. Look at that terrible line. Look where the cut is. Kids, don't try this at home. Yuck. Watch this. Oh, yeah. That's not gonna fly.
So how many pixels is this animation going to take up when you're done?
How many pixels?
It's going to be like 100 by 20 or something like that, right?
Actually what would probably be the best solution to this is to get not fancy with it and do it in a more flash way, which is just to break the foot off the leg completely and leave it completely separate and then respond with the leg accordingly. and then just select both of them and have a common peg. How about that? A flash method being the best way to do it. Who'da thunk it? Who'da thunk it? Oh, look at you. You got keyed before I did that. And actually, I want that to go up higher. Counter animation. Or, well, counter direction. Let's try that. Since we're just playing around. Oh. That's true. Very true, sugar-coated. Very true.
What a twist.
Exactly. Alright, let's break this foot off. That would be neat, too, if there was an option on the kinematic output to... Well, I can definitely disable it. And yet it doesn't really enable or disable. Wait, and that's... Oh, that's the color for the node. Meh. That doesn't work either. Have to break it out separately. Alright, so... Let's just try this and see what happens. That means this guy, let's break him out. Let's get rid of the kinematic output there. So he's got the leg. And we just want to put him under the body. We don't have upper lower here, so look at that. Just break it all to pieces because there's animation on it. Rah! Rigging on the fly is not the best idea, guys. But that being said, at least I can go back and do that. So yeah, you get a little shift there, but Flash K. Ooh. That's what I wanted. Normally I wouldn't animate with everything expanded once I get all my controls down and everything. That's just gonna be, that key right there is just gonna be a mess. Just a mess. That'll definitely be a change drawing.
All right, Sugar Coated, you have a good one.
Hey, thanks Sugar Coated, you too. Come back next time where we may actually get more animation done.
I think you almost have a frame finished.
Hey, you know. It's always misleading anyway, because like when you watch stuff on YouTube from people, they here's the time lapse of me animating.
Right, and that time in between each frame you see is like where they're scratching their head, going, "Okay, which menu do I go through here this time?"
Well, not even that, but a lot of times it'll be like uh, blanking. Um, or they'll be like, oh, I just sketched this out real quick.
Right, where like half the assets are already pre-generated.
I just threw this together. I don't know, guys. It's pretty cool. What do you think?
Yeah.
This is obviously going to be terrible. Believe me, I know this.
Well, we didn't come here for quality. We came here to learn. If we wanted quality, there's hundreds of other YouTube channels.
That's
But
right.
here you'll get honesty.
Yeah. Who needs those toes to bend? Come on. What do you think this is?
No, this is throwback style,
Ha! Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I want to actually bring the head up slower later. Oh, I moved the body and not the bones the last time. Bravo. I thought I had that set. Is that your cats? What is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Thought I heard your cat there for a little bit.
He was. He came in for a little bit and
Stream Kitty said hello.
that one's definitely going to need some drawings. Drawings is... You know what the bad part about the feet thing is, though? See, this is what I always do. I always get into the animation and then be like, you know what? I should have parented that differently. And then when I go to do it, it breaks everything. Always. Always, always, always. Never fails. Look at that volume I lost on the drawing too, from the tunic right there. Doesn't match at all what it did before. Look how much bigger the character is compared to that. It's like animation 101 right there.
Game music at its best, 24 hours a day. You're listening to the RP Gamers Network Radio.
See? Now the trick is this. So I'm going to store those scale keys on the actual drawing, or on the peg, and then everything else is going to go there. This guy shouldn't really matter that much because oh no, I didn't want that. I feel like something probably got miskeyed there. No? Body got miskeyed though. Really? How is that? Well, I did a reset. That's my bad. There we go. I see what you mean by the pixel height, though. Like you were asking the dimensions.
Right.
Like, really?
Well, it's like you're doing all this work for something that's going to be like a 3-pixel difference.
Hey, that is how we do things here, buddy.
That's right. Especially when there's no budget, right?
No budget. Have you watched an ad in the last 5 minutes? Because if you haven't, I need you to go watch an ad right now.
That's right. Oh, quick, let me reload all the pages.
Let's see here. See, this is where that spline deformer would just be tremendously cool right now. Gotta do. I am just like, oh my lord, we're just getting crazy.
It's crazy.
I also lost track of the... Yeah, that's the one I wanted.
All right.
Now, if there was only a reset... Oh, Frank, I'm actually near Raleigh. Yeah, so relatively close to Virginia, but I didn't know there was a rocket launch. If there was, I would have gone and checked it out, or at least looked up. That would have been awesome.
That would have been sort of cool.
Yeah. We used to see, back in the day, I used to live in Orlando, and we used to see the space shuttle take off quite a bit, which was awesome. I don't know anybody that doesn't love rockets. Let's be honest.
It's true. I was just thinking, though, seeing a rocket launch is a whole lot cooler than knowing that what you're seeing, that be driving down the road and just seeing this this bright light going up into the sky, going, oh, okay.
Oh, this is when it gets good. It's starting to get messy in here. I'm gonna go ahead and set my scale here. And then we'll just sort out where everything went. Good enough.
You know, many years ago, I was looking at SpaceX. They had it opening at the time, and I was like, that'd be sort of tempting, you know?
Yeah, my wife and I have a friend from childhood that works at SpaceX, and yeah, that's just cool. It's just cool. No
Of
two
course,
ways
that
about
was before, Tesla really blew up,
Yeah,
so it was like, who's this guy who thinks he can just sort of make cars and rocket ships?
right.
Yeah. Little did I know. I imagine they probably overwork them just as hard at SpaceX as they do at Tesla.
I'm sure. I'm willing to bet there's a hotkey for like, go back to the scale you were before.
Right now, it looks like he's doing a creep for leaning on the running man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some center of gravity issues for sure here. Will have to be worked out.
Well, that and you don't have that hem of your skirt,
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, that'll help sell like which leg is which too once I get that drawn in. But like I say, I'm not at all pleased with the feed or the way the setup is. So I'm gonna rework some of that. But in general, just to get something going. That's the name of the game here. Sometimes something's better than nothing.
That's right. I mean, you have something to show for your evening. All I have are a few snarky remarks.
See, what I don't like about that is that I rotated the body way too far. I still want to feel like it's coming down, I think on this, I think I want him to drop in a little more. Yeah. Feet and legs are going to be a thing. I'm gonna have to get a lot more serious about how we rig those and set them up. I do think the disconnected foot is probably going to be the simplest solution for this without being able to swap deformers. Let's turn off the onion. Let's also grab not the cutter. Really? Turn you off. There we go. 5 little keyframes and not Well, we are getting there. I think we'll save a version of this and probably call it a night for tonight. We'll go back in and get him cut up and moving a little bit cleaner and clean up a lot of this stuff. But hey, thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. And Frank, thanks for stopping by, man. I love all your stuff and really appreciate you hanging out with us. Please come back and do it again. Probably drawing some comics next time, get back into some animation a little bit. So everybody that hung out, thank you very much. Come back next time, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Have a good night, everybody. I'm gonna cut it right